Good afternoon, everyone. It is right at noon. I've got some late emails coming in, so I'm going to give everybody about a minute or two to get joined in, and I'll be back shortly so we can start the session. All right, well, welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us to the Master of Science in Operations Management Information System. My name is Karin Hickenbotham. I'm the program manager of the Masters of Science in Operations Management Department under the Industrial Engineering Department in the College of Engineering. So I want to start off by saying I see several students that are former students of mine that are joining the session, and I could not be more excited that you guys have decided to connect with us. And you know who you are, so good to see from you. And a few other folks that I've talked to over the last couple of days I see are joining, so welcome again. Thank you very much. So our department has a Master of Science in Operations Management, but under the Department of Industrial Engineering, we also offer engineering management and engineering. If you are interested in either one of the latter two that I just mentioned, please reach out to me and I can get you connected with an advisor in that department. We also offer 3 graduate certificates. We have Project Management, Lean Six Sigma, and Homeland Security. We're going to talk a little bit about those later, and we've got a special guest with us today that's going to specifically speak to the Project Management Graduate Certificate as well as the PMP certification. Okay, so let's get started. So for those of us who are still kind of wondering, what is operations management? Sometimes you've just taken a class in it, but what does the actual Masters of Science entail? So operations management proposes they plan, lead, and manage business operations. Operation management uses industrial engineering techniques to enable individuals and organizations to maximize effectiveness and make superior decisions. So that's just kind of an overall kind of synopsis of what operations management can be. So let's talk a little bit about our specific department. We are the largest graduate program on campus. We were established in 1974. We've graduated over about 5,000 students to become leaders in business and industry and military, and have also been able to advance their careers. 90% of our students completing the degree are full online and from anywhere in the country. We have over 70 instructors who have been evaluated and found to have real-world experience and practical knowledge. And we have a total of 35, actually we're adding to that list lately. We have more than 35 total graduate courses in the MSOM program offered each semester online and or live in class. So what can you do with an operations management degree? That's the biggest question that we get from students, and the answer is very broad, which I think is a good thing for any student, depending on if they're in human resources, if they're in the military, if they're in logistics or supply chain. So this is the list of several titles that you could do with an OM degree, obviously starting off with an operations manager, but you can go into construction, industrial production, the banking industry, finance. Like I mentioned, we have many military folks in our program. Even in the nonprofit sector, this can reach into. So the job pay outlook is anywhere from starting in the mid 70s all the way into the lower six figures, depending on which industry you're working for, which rank you are currently. It all depends on your specific situation, and we always have advisors that can help with that outlook, that career outlook for you. So why MSOM? And I think this is a great question, and I really could go on for hours about why operations management, but I want you to hear it from our students. We have a student testimonial that we spotlight on our Facebook page and our LinkedIn page, and I really encourage you to connect with us in both of those, because we often host events. We're doing a lot of these online webinars and info sessions, and so we always post those events on those pages as well. But I really want you to hear from the students and why they started the program, what they learned from it, what their favorite classes were, and how they applied what they learned. And then, you know, what does career advancement look for them in their specific field. So we've got dozens of wonderful stories on there that you can go and read about. These are just three that we've recently highlighted, all very different backgrounds, very different career aspirations. So it's really neat to hear from the students and kind of what they're getting out of the program. So let's get down to a little bit of the nuts and bolts of the program. So our motto per se is kind of like learn it today, use it tomorrow. And I mentioned those student testimonials. You'll get a lot of that where students will mention, oh, well, I took A, B, and C class and I was able to go to work the very next day and apply it. And we hear that so often. Our operations management, it's a high wage, high demand field spanning in numerous industries. I think now, since the global pandemic and how things have changed, we have seen some real live cases going on that we can highlight in our classes. So our curriculum is very relevant to what we're living today, and will continue to be more important. So we are 100% online. We also have video synchronous or evening classes on campus. Right now, that's kind of a pending situation, depending on what we're going to do in the fall as we just go day by day. Video synchronous courses are basically for our military folks, where you can go to the base and at a certain time and take a class, but it's being you're going to join a live class that's being taught here at the U of A in the classroom. So you would still have to be on there at a certain time. There's no out-of-state tuition for U.S. residents. The complete entire degree you can complete for less than $1,000, depending on what prereqs you will need to take for the program. You can learn from professors with current and relevant business experience and expertise. These are STEM-oriented courses, like I said, designed to meet tomorrow's needs. So the program has 10 graduate courses. There's 4 core courses, and there's 6 electives. You must finish with a 3.0 GPA or higher. The flexible degree plan lets you choose the classes beneficial for your goals. And we have those course descriptions and course schedule on our website that you can visit and kind of browse through to see maybe what would pertain to your current situation, or maybe a career transition. We have several students who have done that as well. You can earn a graduate certificate concurrently without taking any extra classes. So I tell a lot of my students, it's kind of like when you were getting your bachelor's and you had a minor attached, you were allowed to double dip. This is very similar, where the 4 courses in any of the graduate certificate will count towards the Master's of Science electives that I just mentioned previously. So we do have a course, COVID-19 special announcement. So effective for the fall 2020 term, at this time, we are waiving the GRE for our applicants who have a 2.5 or a 2.99 undergraduate GPA. Applicants with above a 3.0 GPA is automatically waived with any term without admission exceptions. But once the GRE testing centers do resume operations to full capacity, the standard admission requirements will go back into full effect. So again, why MSOM? We have, again, for anyone over a 3.0, no GRE or GMAT is required. Currently, we are waiving that for anything above a 2.5. You can enter from any undergraduate degree. We've had people with bachelor's in psychology, with history, organizational leadership, chemistry, biology, a lot of business majors, because this is very relevant to former business majors. So any undergraduate degree will count. There are 5 8-week sessions per year. We start classes in August, October, January, March, or May. This is how students who take 2 classes per session, this is how they can actually complete the Master's of Science in as fast as 1 year, but you do have up to 6 years to finish. So on average, a working adult, and I get this question all the time, if I work 40 to 50 hours a week, how many classes should I be taking per term? And students normally take 1 class per term if they are working adults, and that would leave 2 classes per semester, so you would finish in an average of about 18 months if you chose to attend during the summer session as well. Another big draw to our program is there's no thesis. That's a big draw for our students because that can be a very intimidating task that's waiting for you at the end of the program. So in lieu of the thesis, we require a comprehensive exam. That is basically a 2-step process where you would complete a presentation and then make a video of that. Once that's uploaded and reviewed by the comprehensive exam committee, then you would be scheduled for an oral interview that takes about 10 minutes. It's a very easy process, very fun process. It's basically us getting to know what you learned and you letting us know what you've learned and how you're going to apply it. So we actually are offering an information session just on comprehensive exam tomorrow. Our Assistant Director, Kara Altman, is going to be hosting that, and she can answer any questions, and you can find out kind of what the process is like and what to expect. Carol is posting right now in the chat session for registration for that. It's going to be same time here tomorrow, and we'll be doing that together. So please, if you're interested, we would love for you to join. So for the admission process, the online application is free. That is another thing that is special to our program, is that we are one of the graduate programs who do not have an application fee. If you are a U of A student, the UA transcripts are already on file. For those of my former UAFS students that I see there, all you would have to do is very easily go online, and this goes for any university actually in the state, where the transcript be sent to the U of A electronically. That is the best way right now, instead of having an actual transcript mailed, because of course with us still not being back on campus, it's easier for everything to be submitted electronically. We do not require any resumes, letters of recommendation, or personal statement required. You simply go online, fill out the application. The fee is waived once you provide an unofficial transcript for our evaluation that does show your completed bachelor's degree. That can be used to suffice for admission. We will, however, require an official transcript be uploaded, but to start the application process, if you have a degree evaluation or a degree audit that you saved or can still run in the portal of the school that you attended, that will be fine also. Again, it just needs to show that the degree was conferred. So the prerequisites do not need to be completed prior to the admission process. You will be admitted into the program, and then you're going to work with your specific advisor as far as what prereqs you do need and what's the best course to complete those. So we have OMGT 4313, that's a law and ethics course for any business major. That's just the regular business law that you took. We do take other law courses from other majors, depending on the course description and how that's relevant to our coursework. So any of these prereqs are contingent upon the admissions team evaluating your previous coursework. The OMGT 4323, the industrial cost analyst, this is any accounting degree. It can be an intro to accounting, or it can be financial or managerial accounting. This also goes towards prereqs if you have a previous MBA or have MBA coursework. Of course, we will also take all that into consideration. So the OMGT 4333, that's an applied statistics course. That is a statistics course for any discipline. So whether that be behavioral statistics, just intro to statistics, or business, again, that's from any discipline. And then finally, the OMGT 4853, that's an intro to decision support tools. This is a course where we make sure that you are completely equipped with the skills you need in Excel in order to be successful in our classes. There are one of two ways you can meet this prerequisite. You can either be provided a study guide by your advisor, and we have a free proficiency exam available. If you do pass with a 70% or better, we do waive the prerequisite. If you decide to take the course, we of course want you to be in this the first semester of you starting the program, and likely will be paired with a project management course or an intro to operations management course. Again, transcripts will be reviewed for undergraduate equivalency. Yes, thank you, Carol. There is also a very low cost of ways if you do not have the first 3 prereqs on your transcript. We have a sailor.org. It's a website where you can take and evaluate, or you can take and do the course for free. The final exam is free. However, to have it proctored, there is a $25 fee. So in lieu of taking any of the law or accounting or statistics class, you could take those free available sailor.org courses, pay the $25 for the proctored exam, and then if you pass with a 70%er, of course, we will waive those prereqs as well. So Carol, thank you for that reminder. So earlier I had said we'll get around to the graduate certificates, and these are also a big draw to our program. There's a couple on our participant list right now that I know are specifically interested in only starting out with this and eventually transitioning into the MSOM program. That is another way you could start our program, just to kind of to get a taste for us or to see if this is right for you. Our most popular is our project management certificate. But the certificates only require 4 classes. To enter in the admission process, it is a 2.5 undergraduate GPA. And of course, there is no GRE or GMAT. And this can stand alone, or like I said earlier, can be earned concurrently with the Master's of Science in Operations Management. So our project management one is our most popular, and it's designed to provide skills to become a better project manager and prepare for the PMP certification, which instructor Nethercutt is going to talk to here in just a second. But we also have our Lean Six Sigma certificate. This is to learn how to eliminate problems, remove waste, and reduce variation to improve operations. And then lastly, our Homeland Security certificate is designed for industry and safety professionals to learn how to mitigate risk. And we also have today with us Dr. Ham. For those of you who have any questions on the Lean Six or the Homeland Security, he will be available for questions as well. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to instructor Leonard Nethercutt, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the project management certificate. So Leonard, welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Karen. I think you've done a great job of presenting information about operations management. I'm going to shift gears and talk about project management. I've been allotted about 5 minutes or so, so I will do my best to make this an express presentation. So I'm honored to be here in front of everybody, prospective students, current students, and past students. So here are my topics. What is a project? What do project managers do? What are some examples of projects? We will briefly look at the PMI Talent Triangle and the job outlook for project managers, and then we will tie the PMI Talent Triangle and important skills back to the graduate certificate in project management. So let's get moving. No time to spare. What's a project? It's very important we understand what a project is, because a project is different than operations. So a project, temporary endeavor, create a unique product, service, or result. Very important. And I know we've all experienced new products, new services, or we've seen things change. We see the result of project endeavors by seeing new results. Project characteristics. We have an established objective, what we want to accomplish. Projects have a lifespan. They have a start and an ending. They typically involve several different departments, professionals, functional areas. Rarely does a project manager work alone. And typically it's doing something that's not been done previously. Projects have specific time, cost, and performance requirements. Success for a project is actually judged across these 3 dimensions: time, cost, and performance requirements. So what do project managers do? If we have an understanding, a basic foundation of what is a project, what do project managers do? And to to a large extent, when you look at down the list, these functions, plan, schedule, motivate, control, you say, well, that's amazingly similar to what an operations manager does. And that's correct. But we also have to remember that projects are one-time endeavors where operations are typically repetitive. And if you want to briefly look at more detail in terms of what do the functions plan, schedule, and control, what are some of the tools and techniques used in project management to accomplish these functions? And it's things like, this may be difficult to see, but it's things like scope, work breakdown, structure, schedules, resource allocation, budgets, and status reports. And over on the motivation side of things, those fall under the socio-cultural dimensions in terms of leadership, problem solving, teamwork, and politics, and managing customer expectations. Now, some examples, and you say, gosh, there's a lot of things there. And I did this on purpose. I didn't do it so that you couldn't read these things, but I wanted to illustrate. There's a wide array of organizations that use projects. There are public organizations, private organizations. There are organizations that produce goods, organizations that produce services. Projects fall along functional areas as well, not just operations, but maybe over in marketing, finance, HR. And you don't have to look very far to find a project, because the MSOM information system is organized as a project. And at the university, we use project management techniques in course development, and the university system is undergoing a transition to it's actually a massive transition to a Workday IT system. So as you look at these things, projects are everywhere. Projects are the method to used more and more frequently to get things done quickly and efficiently. Now, I found one of several quotes that I had. I started and I said, well, I don't want to read the whole thing. I'll just highlight some of the more important things. When I got through, it was almost I had the entire passage in bold. But this is from a Nestle executive. And Nestle is much more than a candy maker. They have they have like 2,000-3,000 worldwide brands. So some comments about the importance of project management. Within supply chain and operations, we observe great projects are delivered by the most outstanding project management skills, the people who can see, anticipate risk, prepare for contingency before hitting the problem, understand stakeholder management, and have communication skills to manage stakeholder expectations. Critical path in project planning. Outstanding project managers are a must-have ingredient to successful product innovation, and Nestle is increasingly recognizing our project managers. Anyway, it's a great tribute to the importance of project managers to an organization. Okay, now the PMI Talent Triangle is an ideal skill set. In other words, I kind of want to look at what makes a project manager successful. And we have these three skill sets: technical project management, leadership, strategic, and business management. And let me go back to this. Technical project management, or the things like project definition, work breakdown structure, monitoring and controlling the project, resource allocation, the managerial things to bring the project in, meet those three requirements: on time, on budget, and performance requirements. Leadership is also a necessary skill, as well as strategic and business management. And the source of this is the Project Management Institute. It's the premier source of project management information, research, as well as PMI also provides PMP certification as well as other project management related certifications. So what's the job outlook? Pulled this median U.S. project management salary, $108,200. That's from, I think it was, I don't have the date there, but it's from within the last couple of years. Where are the jobs, the sectors? You can briefly look. Manufacturing and construction, 9.7 million. This is for a 10-year period, 2017-2027. So many sectors of the economy are expected to have growing demand for project management professionals over the next 10-year period. So I want to move on. This might be my last slide. The MSOM program has a graduate certificate in project management, and the graduate certificate follows that, closely aligns with the Talent Triangle. The certificate requires the 3 courses of project management for operations managers. This primarily covers the leg for technical project management, as well as advanced project management. Advanced project management builds upon these foundations of project management and applies those in a project type environment. Leadership is one of the legs of that PMI Talent Triangle. And then we also, students require or need 1 elective from the following courses. Quality management, very important for a project. We mentioned that projects are gauged on success is measured on time, cost, and performance. And quality is one of those performance considerations. Cost estimation models helps us to increase our depth, knowledge, understanding of cost, economic decision making, and or organizing for change. So you have to choose one from that list of 4. And upon completion, the student has should have a good understanding, insight into project management technical tools and techniques, as well as the importance of leadership to successful project management, as well as ability to bring projects in, increase the chance of bringing projects in, meeting those 3-dimension time, cost, and performance. Okay, Karin, that's all for me. I appreciate you guys allotting me 5 minutes of time, and I'm sure I went over that 5 minutes. So I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
No, thank you, Leonard. That was wonderful. Leonard's going to stay on with us for a little while. So as we start to wrap up, I want you to start thinking about questions. You can type those in down at the bottom there. If you have any questions, again, we've got the Assistant Director, Kara Altman, on the line, myself, as well as Instructor Nethercutt, who's going to stay with us, and then, of course, Dr. Ham, which can answer any questions on Homeland Security, Lean Six Sigma, or any of the Homeland specific security classes that he has designed. So in our closing remarks, we'd like to remind you that the fall admission application is open. Again, it is free. That $60 admission application fee is waived. You can check out our YouTube channel for various operations management topics. We, in the past, have offered webinars, which are very similar to maybe types of things that you're going to learn in some of our classes. So go and check some of the topics out and see if those interest you at all. I'm going to send everybody some links in a follow-up email, especially the ones that Carol has been providing as far as PMP and the Sailor.org, and we've covered a lot of information, so I will do a follow-up email to give you all that. So again, the links will be provided, or you can email me. Most of you know how to get a hold of me that are in this list right here. Or you can email msom@uark.edu. That'd be perfectly fine. But again, Let's start taking some questions because we want to be able to answer anything you might have a question on. It could be the Master's of Science degree. It could be any of the graduate certificates, maybe a specific course. I've been privately chatting with a couple people as far as what admission standards are. We can go over that again. So I'll give folks a few minutes to type their questions in the chat box, and then yes, we will provide slides. We are recording this session as well, and that will be uploaded to our YouTube channel as well. So again, there'll be plenty of, but while folks come into some questions, if Dr. Ham would like to jump in and just briefly talk about a new course that he designed that he could just elaborate on a little bit, if we still have Dr. Ham with us.
Okay, I am.
Good, thank you.
Well, right now, of course, in the Homeland Security program, we have one relatively new, the Cybersecurity for Operations Managers, which follows basically accepted techniques to ensure you have satisfactory information security. It's becoming a pretty popular course now, and we have a great subject matter expert, Gerald Garner, who's been teaching it the last few sessions and great feedback. The new course in the fall that will be offered is a Resilient Design and Crisis Management course for Operations Management. These courses, Homeland and this one in particular, have a lot of very, very experienced expert speakers. We'll have, as a guest speaker, we'll have former Department of Homeland Security assistant administrators. The governor of Arkansas is speaking at the 1 in 8 week 2. We'll have former retired director or vice president of global security and aviation from Walmart, as well as former state Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security director. And we also have some panels that are there. So it focuses on the FEMA requirements and how it affects an operations manager in a crisis, resilient design in supply chains, goes over the National Incident Management System, and also how both industry and public-private partnerships work together to get through a crisis. So obviously, we started working this some time ago, but there's a lot of renewed interest, and of course there'll be some up-to-date case studies talking specifically what happened during the COVID crisis and what you can do both as an operations manager in the industry and also if you're in the government or military, the kind of principles that you would use to address those and have a resilient design and plans. So it looks to be a great course, already quite a few people asking questions. So if I can answer any questions, I'm certainly happy to, but it's definitely looking like it's going to be an area that we're going to move toward over the next couple of years.
Great, thank you for that, Rich. I see that we, okay, so I see we've got some specific questions that Carol has addressed about transcripts or GPA and things like that. And yes, of course, we will reach out to us immediately and we can definitely evaluate and answer any questions that you may have concerning your own specific transcripts. But I see that Daniel chimed in and says, how many classes are you allowed to take per session? So Daniel, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. And welcome, by the way. It's great to see, at least see your name again. So if you're going to really, what I call a trailblazer and kind of go through and finish the program in 1 year, I have seen students and actually alumni of the College of Business of where you're coming from have completed this program as well and finished in about a year. So that would be about 2 classes per term, per session. So we go by sessions, not semesters. We have 2 sessions per semester. And so that would be 4 classes per semester. That is quite a load that our current students would probably say is quite some if you're working 40 to 50 hours a week. Now, I've heard a lot of students say that actually during moving and transitioning, working from home, that they've actually been able to add more classes because they're not doing other things or commuting or having to sit at the office, and they can manage their time better. So depending on your situation, you could take up to 2 per session. Again, that's 4 per semester. and then that would put you, depending on which, I know your specific situation, you would only have one prereq. But depending on what you wanted to do, you could graduate. If you started this fall 8-week 1, then you would be able to finish next summer. So great. And Daniel, private message me if you have any other questions about that. So Ivan, he says, one more question. Is August the best term to start? What about course openings? Are all of them available each term? So we do have a course matrix that's provided by another assistant director that works with faculty and engagement, Mindy Hunthrop. There's a course matrix on there if you go on and to our just operations management at uark.edu. You can see which sessions they are offered in. So for instance, our Lean Six Sigma class is going to be offered in both 8-week 1 and 8-week 2, but we would only be able to fill maybe the advanced Lean Six Sigma course in 8-week 2 because most students would take it in 8-week 1. So some are offered each session, some are offered every other, or some are offered once a year. Some of the classes that Dr. Ham was talking about earlier, when they are special topics like that, it depends on maybe demand. But all of our online sections, Mindy Hunter works very, very hard. I'm going to unmute Mindy here to maybe see if she has anything to add about kind of what we're talking about here. Sorry about that, Mindy. I meant to add you as a moderator.
No problem. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I really don't have anything to add. I think that you've done a great job, explaining and outlining all of the things and important pieces of the program. So if there are questions I can answer, I'm happy to do that, but glad everyone's here.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So I see that that apparently, Daniel, thank you for that, letting me know that I've answered all of your questions. Chris, thanks for joining. Good to connect with you on LinkedIn. And if there's any other questions, we can stay here, or if everybody wants to jump off and email Carol or myself privately. Carol, I don't know if you've included your email in on the chat there if you want to. Everyone has my email information and contact information through the registration link. Again, this will be recorded and uploaded to our channel and sent out in a link if you would like to forward this on to any colleagues, or we have one person who wanted to forward the slides to the supervisor, so I will include the PowerPoint in a PDF version if that's okay. Any other questions? If you want to raise your hand real quick.
Hi, Jason Curtin had a question. Let's see, someone had a question about when is the best time to start. Oh, it was Ivan. Is August the best term to start? What about course openings? Are they all available each term? Most of our courses are available each session, especially the required courses like Intro to Operations Management, Project Management, Strategic Management, and Finance. They're always available. Our low enrollment elective courses may not be available or offered each session, but most of our classes are available each session. So there really is no best term to start. It's basically when a student, when it fits the student schedule best. So we don't have cohorts. We accept students for each term, whether it's fall 8-week 1 or 8-week 2, spring 8-week 1, 8-week 2, or our summer sessions. So, good question.
Yes, thank you for that. I got sidetracked and didn't answer the second part of that, Carol, so thank you very much. I see some folks are leaving the session. Anything we can answer as far as admission process, or maybe how it pertains to your job, what you're doing now, or maybe what you want to do. So Fernando, hey buddy, it's so good to have you on here. Miss you. So regarding the certificates, for those required with the program or more of an option to complete? So great question. Those are not required. It is something that you can add on. Again, that's why we had instructor Nethercutt to come on and explain kind of how our coursework aligns with the prep work for the PMP. If you choose to have those professional credentials, our certificates do not provide credentials. It does just provide you with the graduate certificate, but again, it does prepare you for the certification exam. But again, you do not need to, it's not required to do those. However, the most popular is our project management certificate, and it's because those 4 courses that are in there are very popular and people want to take those. And so they think, well, if I'm already taking all 4 courses, why not get the graduate certificate? So that's why a lot of people do add it, but you don't have to. And yes, Carol, thank you. You can complete the certificates along with the Masters of Science without taking additional courses. They will just count as either you're required or you're an elective. And Ray is still on with us. Thank you, Ray, for joining us. Do the MSOM courses have video lectures or live video lectures? What's the structure like? Dr. Ham, if you're still with us, would you like to address that question?
Can you repeat that last part? I had
Sure. Ray's asking, do the MSOM courses have video lectures or live video lectures? What are the structure like for the courses?
So you've got several different modes that you'll have. We have courses, of course, certainly that have a live component that has a video synchronous that you participate. You have others where you'll have, and then that will be recorded to view afterwards. You'll also have some that use a series of lectures, typically in bite-sized lectures of subjects, so that you can look at those even asynchronous. So over time, what's happened is, an example in the Homeland course now, I have a section that's asynchronous that do group projects, maybe with a synchronous group. If they don't make it because they're not required, they can watch the video that's recorded each week, say with a guest speaker. And then there's also a series of recorded videos on different topics that they can look at, that all the students have access to, sometimes just to brush up in an area you're trying to remember or to prepare for an exam. And that is a pretty typical way that all of our courses are designed. Most of our instructors are providing previous videos. If they have a guest lecture, they'll have that video. They'll have recordings of different activities they've done in class, and then also specifically, especially when something is in a quantitative subject that's kind of difficult, an example showing here's how the solution set works to kind of help you walk through it. So whatever the learning style that you have, you will typically be able to find that somewhere that will help you learn something if you come to a point you're struggling with it. And as always, instructors pretty responsive, that you can contact them to have a virtual office. I do virtual video if they want it, or email. So a lot of different ways to communicate and to get clarification.
Perfect.
And
Thank you,
I'll
Dr.
jump in and add there. Yeah, Ray, if what you're looking for is a 100% online course, those classes don't require you. They're asynchronous. They don't require you to be, logged in. For example, every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, you'll do the course on your own time, in line with the deadlines that your instructor sets in the syllabus and the course schedule at the beginning. But like Dr. Ham said, we do have a lot of great options and opportunities for you, even if you're in, the 100% online asynchronous course. Many instructors will host optional, once a week kind of sessions where you can come and bring your questions, almost like Dr. Ham said, almost like office hours, but other students might attend as well, so you can hear their questions. So there really are options for you to, whatever mode you prefer, the options are there. We do offer some of those, the video synchronous classes. I know Karin mentioned those in the presentation as a good option for military students, but really anyone can do those, and they just provide, if you, live out of state and you can't come attend classes on campus in Fayetteville, you can attend those video synchronous classes from home, where you do log in every Monday night at 6 o'clock, and you do get that face-to-face time where you're sharing your video and kind of like a Zoom, you're meeting with the instructor and having class as if it were a live class. So the options are really, the possibilities are endless, and like Dr. Ham said, you'll find what works best for you. And your advisor can help you, you know, choose and make sure you're picking the correct mode that meets your needs.
Great. Thanks, Mindy, for jumping in. I really appreciate that. That was great information. So I hope, Ray, that answered your question. If there are any other questions, it seems like folks are starting to hop off here. So you've got my information. Again, all of the links provided by Carol in the chat section, I will be including those in a follow-up email, as well as a link to this recording and a PDF version of this presentation. If there is nothing else, we'll go ahead and let you get back to your day. We really appreciate you joining us today. That's very exciting for us to be able to answer any of your questions and to see what, you know, your future plans are. So thank you again for joining, and you'll be hearing from us soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carol, Leonard, Mindy, and Rich. Thank you again.